Welcome to St. George, Louisiana, the newest city in the United States. It was formed by nearly 100,000 residents living on the southern side of Baton Rouge who grew sick and tired of the dying, decaying rot of a Democrat-run city. And so they decided to take matters into their own hands. Back in October of 2019, 54% of voters in the district, or the parish as they call it in Louisiana, voted in favor of seceding from the city of Baton Rouge, which again is just another typical rotting Democrat city. And so, of course, Baton Rouge Democrats responded by doing what they do best. They did everything they possibly could to thwart democracy. They could care less about the concerns of St. George's residents who don't vote for them anyway, and they took them to court to prevent the district from successfully seceding, which again, 54% of that district's population voted for. And so now, as of just a few days back, the Louisiana Supreme Court, in a 4-3 decision, has officially ruled in favor of the referendum. St. George is now official. They have seceded from Baton Rouge, and they are now the 5th largest city in Louisiana, boasting a population of nearly 85,000. And if they do things right in terms of the formation of a viable, flourishing school system and conservative use of tax dollars, you can be sure that number is only going to skyrocket. But of course, what would a victory like this be without the legacy media, the cultural Marxist media, vomiting all over it?
The headlines from the national media are eye-grabbing at best. Wealthy white Louisiana residents split from Baton Rouge to form their own city. But is race a real issue at the core of this municipal secession? The 86,000 residents who are forming their own city in St. George, Louisiana, say it's about better schools for their children and better city services. Baton Rouge is more than 50% black, and those who are against a split say the city will be hurt by this action to create a new city, which was approved by the Louisiana State Supreme Court last Friday after a 5-year-long battle.
Segregation, gang. That's right. This is segregation. Wealthy white residents are separating themselves. They're splitting from poor black residents. That is what this is ultimately all about. That, of course, according to mainstream media, it, of course, has nothing to do with the skyrocketing violent crime rates in Baton Rouge. Of course not. Who wouldn't love to be a victim of violent crime? And besides, we all know crime is racist. And, of course, it's got nothing to do with Baton Rouge's failing public school system because, of course, we could blame that on racism as well. You see how the game is played here. Unfortunately for these leftist Democrats and their apologists in the legacy media, the jig is up. The cat's out of the bag. Genie's out of the bottle. I mean, pick your metaphor. More and more populations all across the country are going to be doing precisely this kind of municipal secession as more and more of our Democrat monopolized cities implode. There's no way around this. St. George is but the first of a whole host of new cities that will be formed as a result of Democrat rot and decay. It is inevitable. You're going to see more and more arcs created where populations have no interest in drowning in the Democrat sewer that's overwhelming our nation's cities today. And all the racism nonsense will be absolutely powerless to stop it. Again, it's already happening. It's what's called scaled secession. How's that for a term? Scaled secession. It's also known as de-annexation, where more and more districts are actively trying to secede from their city hall and form their own legally recognized municipalities. A lot of people don't know this, but the city of Memphis in Tennessee has actually shrunk over the last few years precisely through this process of de-annexation. So districts such as South Cordova and Southwind and Rocky Point are no longer part of Memphis. And then, of course, we've got the whole county secessionist movement. We, of course, have been tracking very closely with the Greater Idaho movement, where thus far 12 counties and counting in eastern Oregon have voted to secede from Antifa-ridden Portland with the hopes of joining up with their neighboring red state, Idaho. In the ultra-blue state of Illinois, 27 counties there have already passed pro-secessionist referendums. Some state lawmakers actually even proposed bills to separate Chicago and its surrounding Cook County from the rest of the state. And again, we could go on and on here. There are Maryland counties that want to join up with deep red West Virginia. In California, San Bernardino County has recently voted to actually study the process and prospects involved in seceding entirely from their increasingly failed state. So this is the notion of scaled secession, from municipalities to counties to, of course, with Texas, even states. You're beginning to see more and more populations say, we're done. Enough. We've had it with politicians who blame our societal rot on everything and everyone but themselves. And we're taking matters into our own hands. So what do you think, gang? Do you support patriots forming their own cities and counties? Let us know in the comments section below. Hey, gang, you've seen how much UFC fighters love President Trump and how much he loves them. They're both fighting for faith, family, and freedom. But did you know that our camaraderie goes way beyond just fighting against wokeness? We can actually get the exact same pain relief that the fighters in the UFC get, precisely because a fellow patriot and good friend of this channel is the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. You know, we all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal, but you know, they don't have to be. And that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. Clint's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that is taking the world by storm. It's called CB2. It is the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief without dangerous meds. And it is the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. So whatever you do, make sure to click on that link below and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. We got some great news coming out of the key swing state of Pennsylvania. The United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit has ruled that absentee ballots missing proper dates will not be counted, marking a substantial victory for those advocating for stringent election standards and election integrity. You won't be surprised that liberal and far leftist groups were actually challenging the legal requirement of absentee ballots being properly documented, having the correct date, or even having any date at all. But alas, it was not to be. The appeals court ruled that all absentee ballots must be properly marked, including the date of the casting of the vote, in order for the ballot to be counted. So we've accomplished step one of a two-step process. The first step is to get election integrity standards implemented and upheld. Step two is to make sure that those integrity standards are enforced when the ballots are being counted, and that's where you come in. Make sure to volunteer as a poll worker and make sure that you are the one counting the ballots. That's our ultimate line of defense against any and all shenanigans when it comes to mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting. Now, actually, there's actually three steps to this. Okay, so when it comes to mail-in ballot strategy, the sending into the ballot and the counting it are steps 2 and 3. The very first step is getting voters registered, and that is happening in spades in Pennsylvania. Take a look at this. Republicans have gained in voter registration in every single one of Pennsylvania's 67 counties. Every one. They have cut the Democrat registration advantage from 2020 in half across the state. And remember, in both 2016 and 2020, a lot of those Democrats voted Trump. County after county of white working-class voters who voted Democrat in every single election since the 1980s defected and voted Trump. And they're poised to do it again. That's why, I mean, seriously, gang. Look at this. When you average out the last 41 polls of Pennsylvania, Trump leads Biden by nearly a point. We've never seen this before. This is unprecedented. When you average out the last 41 polls taken in Pennsylvania, Trump is in the lead. Again, just to put that in perspective, back in 2020, Trump never led the polling aggregate in 2020. Never in Pennsylvania. Biden was up by 2. And even in 2016, when Trump won Pennsylvania, Hillary was up by 2 as well. The point is, we have never seen a situation where you can average out 41 polls in Pennsylvania and find Trump in the lead. In other words, Trump is better positioned to win Pennsylvania in 2024 than he was in either 2020 or 2016. And with this latest appellate court decision, things just got seriously real. Also, as you know, we've just unveiled our brand new Turley Talks app. This is our answer to YouTube's demonetizing our channel. It's a beautiful, cancel-proof app that you can download completely free just by clicking on that link below or by going to fight.turleytalks.com. This app is our way to declare our independence from all woke platforms that hate us and to tell the international woke police precisely where they could stick it. You're going to love it. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.